Hi, it's G from Native Speakers Academy again, and welcome to another edition of Useful Stuff. This is a supplementary session for the students of Native Speakers Academy, our holistic language school based in Banska Bystrica, beautiful Banska, in central Slovakia. So these sessions are designed to give the students of the school something extra to think about and a little bit more contact with the English language. Today's topic is studying how to study. It's the beginning of a new term, and a lot of students' brains are a little bit rusty after summer holidays. Some of them even have problems remembering anything that they were doing in the first part of the year. So that's why learning should be a constant activity through life. It's not really something that you can just turn off and turn on during specific periods. Anyway, studying how to study. Effective studying habits are the keys to a successful college career, university career, business career, even having a successful personal life. But there are multiple factors that affect how well you retain, how you hold information in your mind. Interesting word, retain, detain, entertain. Interesting etymology, but that's for another day. Here we explore these influences and give you tips to develop effective study habits. So, how can we be more productive, more useful, and more effective in our study techniques? The 21st century classroom. Properly taking notes is one of the most important factors related to successful studying. Take notes. Write things down. The more you write, the more you remember, because doing the physical activity is part of the body memory process. Technology has made that process easier for students. Well, I guess it's easier using a pen and paper than it is using a piece of stone and a piece of chalk, but I'm not sure how much easier it is to make notes with a tablet or a computer. It's definitely easier to store and share the notes, but I'm not sure it's easier to make them. I find it interesting now that when I make notes on a board for students, that some students like to take a picture of the notes and then go home and rewrite out the information again. It's just interesting. And so technology has made the process easier for students, maybe for some students, and today many bring laptops to class and also mobile devices. A Science Direct study shows 64.3% of students use laptops in at least one class. Students reported that they used their computer for things. This is the negative side. Students reported that they used their computer for things other than lecture notes for an average of 17 minutes during a 75-minute class. Computers make things easier, but they also offer distractions. Yeah, that's the classic problem, that we can't stay focused. So I was teaching a class just yesterday, and one of the students after the class explained to me they had a problem focusing for 90 minutes, that after 45 minutes their attention started to wander, and this happens in most meetings for them. It's a problem. So we discussed what could the student do to stay focused in the class. What did we come up with? Ways to stay focused. There was drinking enough water. There was putting a little bit of incense on your on your skin and sniffing it or smelling it when you feel a little bit tired. There was taking a break, going to the toilet, washing your face, or putting a little bit of water on the inside of your eyes. I find that that helps me. So those are a few little things to help you stay focused while you are studying. Computers make things easier but also offer distractions. 25% of those students played games, 43% surfed the internet, 68% used instant messaging, and 81% checked email. Well, not all negative activities to be doing using the technology there. A studying tool, the next section. Highlight your notes. Highlight your textbook. Use colors. Use flashcards with different colors to differentiate facts while studying. Use post-it notes. Colors, very good idea. Couple of colored highlighter pens. Run over the important parts of the text. Very eye-catching, and colors can help you remember things as well. Nothing wrong with also putting things into your own words. Again, try to write things down. The physical activity, the body memory, extremely important. Study, study, study. There is no substitute. There is no other way. There are alpha learning techniques, just as a thought that came into my head, which I'm not convinced about the total success of them, although I have met some people who swear that they have been really useful and helpful. So that's something to bear in mind. Anyway, the best way to streamline your study habits is to learn time management. Time management, one of those, again, important key life skills. Set realistic goals for study time to avoid last-minute cramming. Don't try to fill your head with lots of information at the last minute, because it's easy in, easy out. The faster you put information in is the faster that you will forget it. So you want to do things more progressively over a slightly longer period of time. So we can see from the graphic here that an ideal situation for most people would be studying for 30 to 50 minutes, followed by a 10-minute break where you might want to breathe some fresh air or have a drink or some food or something. In addition to setting aside dedicated study time, review your notes every day. Everyday habits, good everyday habits, create good lifestyles. The goal of studying is to retain information, to hold on to information. Retention rate is 60% higher when information is reviewed within 24 hours of hearing it. So look at it again within the first 24 hours of collecting the data and information. 60% higher, that's quite a large percentage. Study your notes within 1 day of taking them. I think that's going to be good for my students. Studying for 30 to 50 minutes with a 10-minute break is, of course, the recommended time. A nice little graphic there that shows that. Try these studying techniques to help you. Read notes, rewrite notes, and put them into your own words. Review, highlight the notes, put them in columns, make notes in the margins. Try to add some extra data, do some extra research, add extra data, create flashcards, little information cards for yourself that you can carry with you, you can keep in your pocket, you can have a look at them wherever you are. If you're in a lift or taking a break in the bathroom or waiting to meet somebody, you can review them. And that's something you can do not just for studying, but you can do that with any topic, in any subject that you want to learn. And make up examples and situations that will help you remember the information. Try to contextualize the information into a situation which makes sense for you in your life. Again, with teaching language without context is pretty useless, really. Music is my muse, or isn't it? Does music help people to study? Though an increasing number of students listen to music while studying, I used to listen to the radio when I went to school. 2010 applied cognitive psychology study showed that participants who listened to music while studying had the poorest recall abilities. The study showed that music did not help. And what I've also read is that if you are if you're inputting the information with music, that if you want to recall the information, you need the same music again for the output of the information. Might be slightly different for everybody. Moving on. Exam tomorrow, time to cram to get a lot of information into your head in a short space of time. I think every student has had an experience of doing this. UCLA conducted a study detailed below, and does that make sense? UCLA conducted a study detailed below that found cramming pushes information into short-term memory rather than long-term memory. As I said, fast in, fast out, and the information is gone, lost, and forgotten, which is where information should go for more successful retention. It should go into the long-term memory. Students were put in two groups and asked to study word pairs, words that go together. Group 1 reviewed 20 cards 8 times. Group 2 broke the cards into smaller stacks of 5, studying each stack 8 times before moving on to the next stack. So group 1 studied all 20 cards 8 times, and group 2 studied smaller groups of 5 cards, each group 8 times, which I'm not sure if one activity is longer than the other, but let's have a look at the results of this experiment. Now, the predicted results, what they thought would happen, is that the first group would retain only about 54% of the information, where the second group would retain 68%. So they thought that the second group would be more effective. The actual results showed a reverse. This is very interesting in terms of the scientific method, because very often what we think will be the outcome is not what the actual outcome is. And that means we need to change something in ourselves and in our understanding. The actual exam results, which showed a reverse. So group 1 actually retained 80% of the information, while group 2 only retained 54% of the information. So adding information to your short-term memory is less effective for retention than adding it to your long-term memory. This explanation is a little bit confusing because I'm not sure how group 2 is a reference to the long-term memory. 8 times in succession and 5 groups 8 times before moving on to the next step. It's more about the way in which the information is presented than anything else, I suppose. Anyway, it's quite clear that we want information to go into the long-term memory, much more than the short-term memory. Give yourself a week, at least a week before any exam, and begin to study the information at least a week beforehand. Studying, be loose in terms of the concept of being flexible. Be loose. So, do you find it difficult to memorize mundane or boring information? Why would you want to memorize boring information? Surely the point of studying is to find interesting things and to learn that. Use the information to create a poem, a song, an experience, mental picture, or a rhyme. See YouTube for hundreds of thousands of examples of people doing this. I remember the reactivity series in chemistry when I went to school. And what I did was I created a rhythm to help myself remember that. And if I can remember correctly, it was potassium, sodium, lithium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, tin, lead, hydrogen, copper, mercury, silver, gold, platinum. I wonder if that's still right. I don't know. And that was we're talking way back about 25 years ago. So rhythm is something that worked for me. We're all different, so you have to find what works for you. Know what kind of learner you are. Do you learn best through listening? Do you learn best through doing things? I think most of us learn best through doing things and being creative with what we have. Information is then stored in a more memorable manner and is easier to recall if we've put it into this creative structure of a poem, song, experience, mental picture, rhyme, or a story, for example. Isn't that how communication was passed down through history in the form of stories and songs? Sleep. How does sleep affect our studying? Falling asleep while studying a book is ineffective, obviously. But getting the right amount of sleep does allow the information to sink into your brain. To avoid school fatigue, to avoid being tired, remember you should get 6 to 8 hours of sleep a night. In my dreams. Also remember that 2% of people can do well with 5 to 6 hours of sleep, but 2% is a very small percentage. And that 2% of people need more than 9 hours of sleep a night to do well, which basically means that 96% of people need 6 to 8 hours. God, how many mothers out there would like to get 8 hours sleep? I imagine there's quite a few. Okay, moving on. A Hendricks College study observed the academic success of students with different sleep schedules. The groups were separated into 3 categories: night owls, those who stayed up at night; morning larks, those who like to get up early in the morning; and regular robins, I guess the average normal person. Night owls, people who do best at night, average 41 minutes less of sleep, so they get less sleep. They drink caffeinated beverages close to bedtime. I find that coffee helps me sleep. Isn't that strange? And don't keep a consistent schedule during the week. And what this means is that their GPA, productive GPA, is 2.84. Regular robins, who are alert and active between 8 and 9 in the morning, usually tired by 10, and people who do their best work, such as me, in the morning, have an average post-freshman year GPA of 3.81. So this basically means they're more productive, they're more active, and as a result can do more and then earn more as well, which is not really a bad thing. And everyone can find out what is best for themselves. Everyone can do it. Everyone is different, but everyone can develop effective study habits. If your current study habits aren't working, change something. If you want to be better, you have to do something different and try something new. Ask your friends. Form a study group. That's something that wasn't there. Get together with a group of friends and try to discuss the topic Get extra information from the students who are good, from the students who are older, the students who are in the higher class. And we finish with a quote. Study is the bane, which is in essence the main problem or pain of childhood. It is the oil of youth, the indulgence of adulthood, and a restorative in old age. Useful for each section of life. Whatever we do, we have to do it constructively. We have to be able to work on our memory and our mind skills. Also, information which was not included here is diet. We have to be very careful about what we put into our body, how we feed ourselves, that we get the right nutrition, that we drink enough water and we get the vitamins and minerals into our body, especially when we're young, because that's when the brain is developing and that's when the cognitive functions are extremely important. So, thank you very much for staying with me through this presentation. I'm trying to get back to the top of the graphic here, which was studying how to study. There are other ideas. If you've got some more suggestions, let me know. Let me know what works for you. That's about it for this short presentation. Thank you very much for listening to Useful Stuff. This is a supplementary piece of information for students of Native Speakers Academy Holistic Language School. You can link up with us if you want on YouTube, Facebook, Google+, Pinterest. Pinterest has a lot of great resources. I think that it's developed far beyond what Facebook can do. So if you haven't explored Pinterest, just take a little trip there on the internet and see what you can discover. It's very visual, very exciting. And that's it. There will be another presentation quite soon. Wherever you are, have a great day and enjoy it. Take care.